Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can tell by the title, today's gonna be a first impressions using some of the new Wet n Wild products, and I have some beauty supply store products that I'm trying out for the first time. So I will be trying out for the first time the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This is their new foundation. I did have to order my shade online, and I did get the shade Espresso. And it took for I hate Wet n Wild shipping. It takes so freaking long. So I am trying this for the first time. And it's not my first time trying this, but you will see my thoughts on the new Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealers. I do have it in two shades. I have it in dark cocoa and medium tawny. You will see me use these and give my first thoughts, my first impressions, not first impressions, like my thoughts on them, because I do feel a certain way about these concealers. And I am also trying for the first time the new Wet n Wild pressed powder, and for the first time I will be trying out the Wet n Wild liquid cat suits. I did pick up 4 shades, and I do have one on right now, and these I picked up as well from Rite Aid. I will be trying those for the first time on camera. Today's my first time ever trying them. And for the first time I also have the Ruby Kisses 3D Contour Artist cream and powder contour palettes, both in the shades medium dark. I don't think I mentioned in the video, but these come in medium dark and light to medium, and I do have the medium dark ones. So I'm gonna be trying out all those products for the first time. Most of my face today is Wet n Wild, and I'm not mad at it. So if you want to see my thoughts and first impressions, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so as you can see, my eyebrows are already done, and I did use my L'Oreal brow stylist thing, which I really do enjoy. So first I'm going to go ahead and prime my skin, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer and the Tarte Poreless Primer, just to prime my skin. My skin is doing so much better. I do have a lot of dryness, so I don't want to go in with a crazy matte primer. I'm dealing with a lot of dryness on my face, but as far as my breakouts go, my face is doing a lot better. So now I'm gonna go in with the foundation, and as I said, I have it in the shade Espresso, and I've never ever used this in my life, and it has like a little flat applicator. It smells like foundation. I don't even know how much to use, so I'm gonna go in pretty generous with this. So far I can say that the coverage is really light coverage. I'm gonna try to build this, and it being light coverage isn't bad because some days I go for that, but I'm just gonna build it up a little bit to see, just to get some extra coverage and see how it really builds. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back in, especially on my cheeks. So I'm thinking this is as buildable as it's gonna get. I don't want to layer too much on, but I do like the finish. It doesn't feel super cheap, even though it's a really inexpensive foundation. It doesn't feel super cheap. It doesn't have really, it's not full coverage at all. It's like, to me this is like a light coverage foundation, but I'm gonna kind of work with that, and you'll see how. So now we're gonna move into the concealers. Like I said, I've used these concealers before, and I have 2 shades. I have shade 845B dark cocoa, and I have shade 842B medium tawny. So those what these 2 shades look like. So medium tawny I will use to like highlight and Deep Cocoa I can use to highlight as well, but mostly to add extra coverage. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna use Deep Cocoa, Dark Cocoa, I'm sorry, for extra coverage. I'm going to use Tawny to highlight. I love the consistency and the opacity of these concealers, but for me, under my eyes, these concealers do crease, and it's so frustrating because I love the consistency. I love the coverage of them. I love like everything about these concealers except for the fact that for me they crease. So if you have used these concealers and you have any suggestions, please leave them in the bottom bar, because I've tried everything I could do to not make these concealers crease. I've paired them with other concealers. I've done all that I can. So I'm gonna go in and use Dark Cocoa on my face for extra coverage, and that's what the applicator looks like. And I love the consistency, I'm sorry, of these concealers. Now with these concealers, they will dry up wherever you put them, so you gotta move pretty fast if you want to go in and blend them out, because they will dry up on you. That's another thing to take note of. And I just added the Dark Cocoa in the spot where I feel like I needed that extra coverage that the foundation could not give. So now I'm going to go in with medium tawny. And I know this is really light, but it's fine. I'm going to go in with medium tawny under my eyes. And like I said, you have to move quickly. Paired with this foundation, medium tawny looks lighter than it did when I used it before, so it's okay because I'm gonna go back over it with another concealer. So now I'm gonna go into my Ruby Kisses cream 3D cream contour, classic, still on, never used. And I'm gonna go into this shade right here as an extra added coverage for my highlight under my eyes. I've never used this, so we're gonna see how this goes. That's it on the Beauty Blender, pretty pigmented. And we're gonna see how this baby blends out. It blends out pretty nicely. I guess that's better. I don't even know. And I don't know why medium tawny looks so light just now. You guys have seen me. If you watch my Morphe bronzed mocha tutorial, if you watch my Morphe copper spice tutorial, I used this concealer in both those videos and it came out fine. So I don't know why right now it's any different. So I'm going to go back in with medium tawny and just continue to highlight my face. Under my eyes, it didn't work this time. I don't know why, but everywhere else is working fine. But hopefully once we set it, it'll be fine. So I'm going to go back in with that cream contour palette and I'm going to cream contour my face, and I'm going to use, I'm going to try using the second to darkest shade in the palette to cream contour my face. And I'm going to use this Real Techniques brush. I'm just going to dip in. It's pretty dark. Let's see if it'll work for me. No, that's way too, it's too orange. So then I'm going to go into the darkest shade and pop that on top, and this should work because it's like a really dark, rich, dark, creamy shade. Yeah, that darkest shade looks a lot better. a lot better. Like, I like doing videos like this. I like videos so you guys can see like my trial and errors. 'Cause then I feel like it's more helpful for you guys. I'm gonna clean it up in a second. So now to set my under eyes, I was going to use my RCMA powder because right now this is my favorite setting powder, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my Ruby Kisses powder contour palette. Open this. And I'm going, for my under eye, I'm going to use the banana powder, of course. Actually, I'm not going to use the banana powder. I feel like my under eye is already a little too bright. So I'm going to use the second to lightest shade, which is like this really nice tan powder instead, and see how that works. I forgot another sponge. So I'm using my beauty blender. And I'm going to dip into that powder. Both the cream and the powder palettes are pretty pigmented. And I'm gonna set my under eye. That's set nicely. We're gonna stop there for now. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. And I have it in the shade Cocoa, which is the darkest shade that I saw. And that's what it looks like. And I'm just gonna dust this all over my face. That's a pressed powder in that Ruby Kisses palette, so it's not like I'm gonna, when I dust this all over my face, it'll like get rid of the excess as I go along. I'm just gonna dust this everywhere. I'm really liking how my face is looking. But I'm gonna go in with not the darkest powder shade. I'm gonna take this one, no, this one. I'm gonna mix these two and set my contour. And I'm using the Morphe M530 brush, and I do like this for contouring. I don't love it. I like my Sigma one a little bit better, but I use those two shades and not the darkest shade because I don't want my contour to get any more intense. I kind of want to just diffuse it a little bit, like just a tiny bit. So now we're gonna start with the eyes, and I'm gonna take my Essence I Heart Stage eyeshadow base, and I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes a little bit. And now for the eyes, I do not own, no, lying, I do own a Wet n Wild matte eyeshadow palette, like one of those trio things. I'm in the process of doing a lot here, so I don't know where it is. So I'm gonna take my Sigma E40 and I'm gonna go into my Morphe Copper Spice palette, and I'm just gonna take that reddish brown shade, which is one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's like MAC's Brown Script on crack, okay? And MAC Brown Script is one of my favorite eyeshadows ever, and I'm gonna blend this in as my transition. So now my lid, I'm gonna take this Maybelline, yeah, this Maybelline, right? Yeah, Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade Bad to the Bronze. And I'm gonna pop this on my lid. I'm gonna try to use my finger. Gonna try to use my finger to pop this on my lid. This shade is so pretty. So pretty, like I can't even stand it. So now I'm gonna take a little blending brush, and this is the Morphe M441, and I'm gonna just go into this deep brown right here from the Copper Spice palette, and I'm gonna just blend this brown shade all into my crease. Then I'm gonna take a much darker brown, and I'm just gonna pop that into my outer V. So now I'm going to take this Wet n Wild palette, and this is the Comfort Zone palette. This is my favorite Wet n Wild palette of like all time. These are all shimmer shades. They're really, really nice. And I'm gonna take a flat brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade that says Crease. It's like a really nice bronze taupe. And I'm gonna pop that on my lid right over where we put the Maybelline Color Tattoo. And it's just gonna make it pop a little bit more. I wanna add some glitter so bad, but I'm not gonna do that. And then as my brow bone highlight, I'm going to use the shade Brow Bone, which is right here. So now I'm gonna go ahead off camera and add some liner, mascara, and lashes, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and put on some glitter anyway, and I put on lashes and eyeliner. I am having some creasing under my eyes, but I knew that was gonna happen. Like I'm telling you guys, that those concealers crease really bad under my eyes. So I'm gonna go with my Wet n Wild blush in Mellow Wine. I love this blush. Okay, I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder and Precious Petals, and I'm gonna take this Sonia Kashuk brush and highlight. Which catsuit liquid lipstick am I gonna wear? Let's do, what's this one called? Give Me Mocha. I might need a liner with this. I don't know. Just in case, I'm gonna put on my MAC lip liner in Chestnut. I feel like I'm gonna need a liner with that. And I'm gonna apply this. It's my first time ever wearing these. These smell like something. It's a really, really faint smell. I feel like that's as good as it's gonna get. So that's pretty much all the products I have on my table. So now it's time to give some final thoughts. Alright guys, so now it's a little warm in here. So now it's time for me to give my final thoughts on these products, and we're gonna start with the, I like the foundation. I love the price. I think it was about either about $5.99. Yeah, I like the foundation. It is really, really nice. It is really, really light coverage. As I was saying, it's really, really light coverage. You can build it, but don't expect to build it to like 100% full coverage. If you do have like blemishes, if you do have dark spots, you can really go in and build up those areas, but don't expect to like go in with a second layer of this and you have good old full coverage, because that's not the case, at least for me. and I do have like textured skin, but it's all about what primer you use. I can still see a little bit of the texture, but I didn't use a really mattifying primer. But like I said, depending on what primer you use, but I do like the foundation. I would see myself continuing to use this, and as I really use it and go out with it, will be able to dictate whether I would repurchase it. So I will keep you guys updated on my Instagram. What is that? On my Instagram with an update on this, but for right now, I do like it and recommend you guys check it out. These freaking concealers, like, I hate them, but I love them. Like, I hate the fact that they crease. I don't know if everyone is having the same problem. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is, but they crease on me like crazy. Even right now, I have like serious creasing under my eyes. I've tried setting these with my banana powder. I've tried setting these with my RCMA powder. I've tried with my Laura Mercier powder. I've tried just now with these Ruby Kisses powders. I don't know what else to do. Now, I do like dark cocoa for spotting, like spot coverage. I do love it for that. I love dark cocoa for spot coverage, like anywhere on my cheeks I may need an extra coverage. I love just dabbing this on and going. And medium tawny for some reason looks a lot lighter on me today than in the previous times. I don't understand, because like I said, you guys have seen me use this in 2 other videos and it didn't look that light, so I don't know what it is. But these concealers crease on me, like I cannot, like, oh, and I don't have a problem with my concealers normally creasing. I mean, I want to say test them out because everybody's skin is different, but then I kind of don't, because I don't want you guys to go test them out because I said to, and then they crease on you. I would say test them out at your own risk. If you either don't mind the creasing or you feel like they may work differently on you, then I say check them out. But for me, let me just say they crease, and I will not be repurchasing these concealers once they do run out. I have been continuously wearing them because I do like the coverage. Like I said, I do like the coverage. The only one I'll repurchase is dark cocoa because I love the coverage and the opacity, and I love it for spot coverage, but I will not be repurchasing any of them to go underneath my eyes, if that makes sense. Now for the powder, I really do like the powder. I would highly recommend it. It is a really light coverage. It matches the foundation. It's really airy on the skin. You feel like you really don't have anything on. It's so light. It reminds me of the MAC, like how light it is reminds me of the MAC mineralized skin finish, how light that powder is. This reminds me of that without like the glow, but I really do like this powder, and it was like, I think this powder was $5.99. I could be wrong though, but I really do like the powder. Now on to the Ruby Kisses 3D powder, 3D contour artist. I have the cream and the powder. I do like this. I like how my contour came out. These will be great for women of color because some of these shades, well, for the creams, some of them are neutral dark shades, but then some of them have a little bit of a red undertone. Like this one, I could probably use the contour with. It seems pretty neutral. This one has too much of a red undertone for my skin tone. I'm more of a neutral undertone. This one is what I have on my contour right now, and it works beautifully. And I like how opaque they are. So this one is a go for me, and it has the orange corrector, of course, for women of color for correcting darkness. I do recommend the cream 100%. Now for the powder, I like this one as well. I like how pigmented it is, and it is a really light powder. I don't like this shimmery one because it's too powdery to have a shimmer. Like I could try setting my under eye with that. So if you don't mind having a little bit of shimmer when you set your under eye, I would say try that, because once you blend it out, you don't see much of the shimmer, and it is a really nice yellow shade. So I would say test it out, but I like the cream one a lot, and I like the powder one as well. It's a really nice light powder. So these two, I do recommend you guys check them out. They were like $6.99 each at the beauty supply store, so I do recommend you guys check those out as well. And for the catsuit liquid lipsticks, I have on the shade Give Me Mocha. it went on a little streaky, but once it's dried down, this shade is gorgeous. Okay, gorgeous. This shade is so pretty, you guys. Like, it's so pretty. It is really comfortable right now. Don't feel like my lips are over dried. It's so pretty. It did go on a little streaky, and then as I was like trying to build it, it did move around a little bit. Like, it would move around, but other than that, it was fine. I think these are $4.99 or $3.99. I don't forget. Now I got 4 shades, which I'm gonna swatch them on my lips, the other 3 that I purchased. Now the reason why I only got 4, these, one, the display was almost wiped out, but the shades that WetnWild released, I feel like everybody's releasing them. None of the shades were shades where I was like, yes, grab that, yes, I need, yes, I need. It was just like, okay, I love vampy lips. Give me Mocha, looks pretty in the tube and it's beautiful. Rebel Rose was like a really mauve. I love mauve tones, and Nudie Patootie was the only nude that they had. So I was just like, with the color selection, Wet n Wild, you know, the color selection was a little weak for me. But other than that, I am liking this formula, and it's super inexpensive. So I love the way my face came out. It looks really pretty flawless. Other than the creasing, my face looks pretty flawless. I really am impressed. I really am impressed. And like I said, even though this foundation is pretty light, sometimes I go for light coverage foundations, and I'm glad that I like this because then I know I have a cheaper alternative. But yeah, I really am liking, and I love this lip color, so I really do recommend these products. So now I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm gonna swatch the other 3 shades that I have in the liquid, the Wet n Wild liquid, what is these called, Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipsticks. So let's get on to the swatches. So as I said, the first shade that I have on is shade 925B, Give Me Mocha, and I love this shade. It's like a really deep, like brown, I can't explain it. It's like a really nice pinky brown nude shade. It's so beautiful. So I have 3 more shades to swatch for you guys. So the first shade we're gonna swatch is shade 920B, Nudie Patootie, and this is the nudist shade they had. This is like a really light nude, and it has like a slight grayish undertone. So I'm gonna try this on with the lip liner and without. So I'm gonna pop it on right now. So this is Nudie Patootie. It's extremely streaky, and I would never, don't even, like, I would never go out with this shade like this, like, ever. It's a really light nude, so I'm gonna go in with the Chestnut by MAC. And this is Nudie Patootie. It's still a little too light for me, for my liking. Even with the lip liner, it still looks a little too light for me. But it is a nice shade. What do you guys think? Would you guys wear this? I just feel like it's still a little too light for me. I'm trying to go in order of lightest to darkest. So the next shade I have is 924B, Rebel Rose, and this is a really pretty pinky mauve. This one is more on the lighter mauve side, so I'm gonna try this on with and without a lip liner as well, because I feel like with this shade I will also need a lip liner for my skin tone. This is pretty. So pretty. So this is a Rebel Rose, and like I said, sorry for the messy application, by the way. Like I said, I would wear a lip liner with this for my skin tone. With a lip liner, this is so pretty. Like, this is so pretty with a lip liner. Like, it's insane. This is so pretty. The lip liner, so pretty. Like, I can't even stand it. And this is Rebel Rose. Last shade I'm gonna swatch is 932B, Goth Topic. This is the darkest shade they make. And of course, the darker shades go on less streaky. This is Goth Topic, and it's a really pretty, like, deep dark maroon vampy shade. This one I'm actually gonna let dry down. It's really pretty, and this is Goth Topic. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first impressions. I really did enjoy it, if I do say so myself. And I will see all of my lovely beauty bees in the next video. Mwah.